So here we are in early September, having our second look at the species and varieties of Hoheria that flower a bit later in the year. And we start with Hoheria sexstylosa, Crataegifolia, which when we looked a month ago was in tight bud, but is now absolutely plastered in flower, and the flowers are so heavy they're twisting down the upright branches. And we're going to look in a moment at Hoheria sexstylosa and indeed the pendulous form. But this variety takes its name because of the shape of the leaves, which maintain this. They're quite small in size and they have very, very serrated edges. And we'll see that the pure form of sexstylosa has much larger leaves without quite as many prickles down the side of them. This is a variety that likes being clipped and kept to size and will form a smallish bush. Quite a nice little scent coming off, and for a flowering tree at this time of the year, what a show it really is. So here we've got Hoheria sexstylosa, which is possibly the hardiest of the species of Hoheria, which come from New Zealand. This one flowers later in the year, and comparing it to the one we just looked at, you can see how much bigger the leaves are, and although there are pointed serrations down the sides of the leaves, they're nowhere near as pronounced as they were in the form of sexstylosa, which we call Crataegifolia. And when you look up into the bush, you see that the foliage is really quite dense and quite large. You see it's a hugely floriferous plant, and probably the best thing to do is to just pause here and come back and look at it from a distance. So this is a tree that was planted about 35 or 40 years ago. It's easily 30 feet in height, and these are not hugely long-lived trees. But when they're out in flower, as now, they're absolutely dripping in flowers, just as that very small plant we looked at a little bit earlier was branches hanging down with flowers. So in this mature tree, you see exactly the same effect up high. You see butterflies, bees and insects all enjoying a rare show of flower in a woodland garden in September and lapping up the nectar. In New Zealand, this is called the lacewood tree, and it has a bark which produces that effect. But in a garden where there isn't much on show in September, Hoherias like this are very good indeed. And we'll have to pause now for a week or two more to look at the final species, which we haven't yet featured in this little video, and then we'll have a full coverage of all the Hoheria species for you.